105.7 Light FM. Morning, all. Appreciate you being here. We're at 8:42 here. That makes it 18 before 9. Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation. It's time to do some consulting here. Let's do it with Philip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring. Philip, good morning. We are not starting this morning out on a particularly high note on Wall Street, are we?
No, sir, we sure are not. And let's face it, Dave, it wasn't an exceptionally pretty day yesterday either. If you really think about it, the NASDAQ kind of got beat up yesterday.
Oh, good Lord, yes. Yeah, to set the table, the Dow lost 106 points, which isn't scary. It's only 0.2%. Standard & Poor's off by 39. That was a full 0.5%. NASDAQ took a bath, down almost 1.5%, down 387 points. And the Russell kind of held steady. It was about $1.50 off. That's like 0.06% off, which kind of gives you an idea. It was chips, and it looks to me like the rotation out of chip stocks turned into a rush for the exits after the Taiwanese government raided Taiwan Semiconductor's offices and arrested a bunch of their employees for technology theft. That doesn't do a lot of good for the whole sector, does it?
It does not, and I didn't see that headline, so that was quite interesting. Man, that's not good news for them.
That not good news for the chip industry as a whole. Got to keep in mind, Taiwan Semiconductor is the world's biggest chip maker. So you put that together with the situation in between Iran and the United States, because our skirmishes continue in the process. Last night, President Trump's speech did not do any particular good in terms of moving things forward politically. And then, just to make things more interesting, President Trump slapped a 25% tariff on Brazil yesterday. All in all, this is not a real settling beginning to the day, is it?
No, it's not. Now, I think I saw a headline somewhere where I saw he was going to do that, but that was a retaliation for some unfair trade practices from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what that was, but don't ruffle his feathers or he's going to come after you.
Yeah, just the timing was it makes an upsetting world just a little bit more upsetting for the day. President Trump's speech last night cored in on trying to get his Election Security Act through, which we could get into if we were doing a political talk show, but he couched it again in his repeated claim that he actually won the 2020 election, which even a lot of his allies are getting tired of hearing. So it kind of fell a little flatter in the public opinion polls than they expected it to, and that means we ended up with just a generally weird morning this morning. It's let's see, what have we got for good news? Oh yeah, mortgage rates went up again, which does nobody any good whatsoever. And let's see here. Oh, I didn't see it, but I got the headline here. The 2027 COLA estimate for Social Security is out, but I don't have the number. Did you see it come through?
I did not see it come through. I was listening intently, thinking, okay, what is it going to be? That'd be nice to know.
Yeah. A couple of months ago, somebody was saying, holy crud, it could be as much as 5%. And a lot of us that like our Social Security checks were about ready to say, oh, goody. And now they won't even tell me what it is, but I know it's out. I'm going to have to do some research and be ready on Monday to tell them what it is if it doesn't make the public domain.
Yeah. Hey, Alphabet has slid now 2 days in a row, down again another 1.5, maybe a little bit more, actually down almost 2.5 now, because Google is months behind in delivering its latest Gemini AI model.
Oh, geez. They're getting Apple disease.
Yeah.
I've got the new version of Apple's operating system with all the fancy pants new Siri artificial intelligence on it.
Yeah.
So far, except for the fact that it can now translate Spanish into English in real time on the phone, I haven't figured out too terribly much else that it can do for me, but it's pretty, I'll give you that much. Talking about
SpaceX,
Google.
hey,
Yeah,
SpaceX continues to fall down
I
another
just looked
three
at
and a
that. Yeah.
half. They had to abort a launch, I guess, yesterday of their Starship mega rocket. And so had a couple engines that did not launch and did not start. They're down to 125.59 right now.
Oh crap! I was about to say they closed at 131 yesterday, which was bad enough. That's what $5 below their IPO offer, wasn't it?
Hmm.
I'm not cheering for Elon Musk to crash and burn. Don't get me wrong, but I also root for the underdog. And everybody was talking so much about how SpaceX was going to be bigger than Microsoft in its first day. I guess it's just underdog rooting more than anything else I'm getting out of that. Other tidbits you got this morning?
Um, Verizon's going to sell 274 of their company-owned retail stores to
Ooh,
franchisees, I guess.
one of
Um,
ours.
no, I don't know. It doesn't say which ones, but it means they're going to cut about 500 corporate jobs.
Ouch.
Uh,
Yeah,
They're up.
in case folks can't tell, it's relatively quiet on the data dump day. Building permits and industrial production due to come out a little bit later on this morning, but we're starting the morning out with a lot of macro data. But Lord knows we got enough tidbits to pass along, don't we?
Yeah, housing starts up. I got housing starts up 19%
Ooh,
versus the estimate up 11%. So good news on the housing front. Um, However, import prices I saw, Dave, not so good,
yeah.
buddy. They were expected to be down 0.8%.
Mm-hmm.
What did I see flash through my screen? I think they're up two or point oh, point 0.2 or 0.3%. The
Wrong
other,
direction,
yeah,
Corrigan.
wrong direction, definitely. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. I thought I had the housing starts on my calendar for 10 o'clock. I'm glad to hear good news there. We're we're
Yeah.
watching things as they go. Obviously, the Iran situation continues. Traffic through the Strait of Hormuz is now at basically the level it was at while we were in a hot war situation with Iran, because that's kind of back to where we are, and that's pushed the price of oil back up, which isn't helping the blue chips one tiny little bit either. All of this kind of gets into the notion of risk management and making sure my retirement actually happens. You've kind of nicknamed this Freedom Friday for your informational segment here. What can you tell us on Freedom Friday today?
Well, a lot of people have a lot of accounts, right? They have an IRA over here, or they have a non-qualified account over there with this company, or they have several accounts at one place, but they don't have a plan. They have I call it the junk drawer, right? You open up the junk drawer, there's always something in there you need, um, but it's not organized. It's not planned how you're going to use that stuff. And it's kind of the same way when we look at retirement planning. You know, having a lot of accounts out there, I mean, that's good. You've got a lot of stuff, but how are you going to use those things? How are you going to put those things into a plan? Do you know which one you're going to use first? Do you know where your money's going to come from? When you need it. That's part of the planning process, Dave. And that's really creates freedom and knowing where your cash flow is going to come from in retirement. And that's really one of the things that really we worked on several years ago to help develop our core retirement design. And so it helps people really put together that income plan and know what bucket their money's coming from and when it's going to turn on. And so having a plan really gives you a little bit more certainty when it comes to retirement, because let's face it, retirement drives uncertainty. I have friends right now that are in the process of getting ready to retire. It's like they're almost like, well, I don't know if I really want to retire. What am I going to do with my time? Maybe I'm not going to be able to spend as much money. They're actually thinking about continuing to work for a little while longer because they're just not ready. They don't know what they're going to do with their time. So, having a plan helps with all that, Dave.
The bottom line is knowledge is power, especially when it's knowledge of what you want to do and where you're going to get there.
Exactly. So,
Got you.
get a plan.
Got you covered. Looking at the resetting the table number here this morning, everything was red yesterday. The tech stocks really dragged the growth stock segments down. 45 minutes before we open this morning, what are we looking at?
Well, it looks like it's going to be kind of a follow through from yesterday. The Dow is down almost 0.75% right now. The S&P 500 is down almost 1%, and the NASDAQ 100 is down a little over 1.9%. And then you add in the Russell 2000 down about 0.8. So everything is solid red this morning, including the commodity side of the coin. Silver down 1.3, gold down almost 0.5%. Unfortunately, crude oil is heading up, Dave. Like you said, it's up 2.2% from the close, which is $80.73. Pretty close to where it was yesterday when we talked.
Not where we want it to be, though.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And I don't see the direction changing anytime soon either. Looking across the pond, I mentioned the story about Taiwan Semiconductor. Taiwanese markets were off by 6.5% at the 6 a.m. close this morning. Rest of the Asian Rim was also off. The Chinese mainland markets were off by as much as almost 4% on average. It was a red day in the Asian Rim. Europe, not a lot different, just not as bad. It's a mixed bag. UK is pretty much flat. Everything else is in red ink this morning. Average European index is down by about 0.4% now, halfway through the European trading day. Getting a hold of you to get that plan you were referencing kind of takes a half an hour of time, and it might be the best half hour a guy could ever spend. How do I do that?
Absolutely, Dave. Freedom is having a plan. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your call, and we'd love to talk with you. And then catch us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show. You can always glean a little good information there. 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
And us back here on a day-by-day basis next week. I appreciate your time, my friend. Have a great weekend.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Philip Statler.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you a couple days next week. Bye now.